Alright, all. I'm live. YouTube says I'm live. YouTube don't lie, right? So I must be live. Welcome in. Come on in. Get you a seat. This is Hanging with Dave, episode, what is this, 52? Yeah, episode 52. Not too bad. 52 weeks now. Only missed a couple. Not bad, not bad. This is a little live talk show that I do, or live stream that I do every weekend here. Around 11 o'clock Saturday mornings, unless I work my full-time job. Just kind of go down through the comments and whatnot that's been left on the video. Anything that comes in through chat. You know, I like to help you all out as much as I possibly can. A few disclaimers I throw out every weekend, and I'm going to continue to. Number one, there is alcohol involved. I do enjoy me a cold Budweiser while I do this thing. So cheers to y'all. I hope this Saturday's finding you guys well. Number two, I am a truck driver by trade, so there will be some foul language. I try to keep that to a bare minimum, but it does slip out from time to time. If the alcohol bothers you too bad, or if the cussing may bother you, you know, maybe this ain't the right live stream for you. I'm just throwing it out there. Baxter, 1878. Hey Dave, how you doing, buddy? Glad you joined me this weekend. Hope you're well on this Saturday. A couple other disclaimers I want to throw out there. Number one, I ain't very good with the English language, let alone these YouTube handles. So you have to forgive me or be mad at me for a long time for that, whichever way you like, whichever way you prefer to do it. And when it comes to overclocking videos, you know, people ask, you know, I got these components, what can I get out of them? That's the fun of overclocking, you know. That was always the thrill of overclocking, to see what you get out of your components. And if you're here asking, you know, exactly what you can get out of your components, it kind of takes the fun out of the overclocking. Good, thanks. For you? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good this weekend. A little aggravated actually this morning over the video started recording, but I'll get into that here in a little bit. I'm a little aggravated over that. We got about $150 worth of fans and RGB strips and stuff that I'm going to send back. I ain't very happy with the company that sold them, that sells them. I ain't very happy with my purchases. I'm going to end up sending them back, I believe. I think I've made that decision. So I wasted about 5 hours of record time today doing nothing, basically, because I don't think I'm going to put the video out, not unless I put it out as a, you know, buyers beware type thing. But, yeah, so I wasted about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours this morning recording stuff that will probably never be seen. I'll probably just delete it and get rid of it. Yeah, but that's going to be interesting. But we'll get into that after we get into the comments and whatnot. How you doing, mate? I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? Glad you joined me today. I'm glad to see you. Before I get started here with the comments and questions and concerns on the videos for the past week, you know, I want to thank you all for your support. You know, you all that watch the videos, you know, even though it really ain't something you're really concerned with, or, you know, you really ain't looking to buy the product, unboxing or whatnot, you know, you guys still take the time to watch my videos and like my videos and comment on my videos. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And the people that leave the legit comments and whatnot, you know, I appreciate them and the views that I get on here on YouTube. Are you interested in music making? Nope. I really don't even really listen to music a whole lot. I don't even have the radio on when I drive the vehicle down the road, actually. Nah, music making is something I've never really been interested in. But for you guys that leave the comments and whatnot, I really appreciate it. You know, I appreciate all the views that I get, you know. But anyways, let's flip you guys over here and we'll get into these comments for this week and see what all was left. And like I said, you know, I like to help everybody that I can, so I do my best to answer them. And the first one's kind of got me a little confused, actually. Me killing 6 days ago on how to overclock the Ryzen 3600 on the Asus B550M. And the first part was what got me. I got the Asus 3600X. Not sure what an Asus 3600X is. Any other details? Same board. I've been running it at an offset auto, which leaves it around 1.24 volts, I'm assuming. 63 degrees Celsius, full gaming temperature after an hour on all. PCB and boost spectrums disabled in BIOS. Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabytes at 15s. Run at 2955, stable 1.35 volts, 1.3 volts. So I'm assuming he's got the 3600X. He says it's on the Asus, so I'm assuming that refers back to the motherboard. I'm not too sure on any other details. Not sure on what exactly that means. I'm not too sure on how to answer that question because I don't quite understand the question. Should I send you a free track of my music? Can you feature me in your videos? Yeah, you like creating music, and if I can have legal rights to it, you ain't going to ban me or whatever. I'll take a listen to it, and if I think it's good enough, I'll put it in my videos for you. I have no problem with that. Maybe background music, I could do that, depending on how it sounds and what I think of it. You can send it to me via email at davestechway@gmail. If you go to the About page on the main page of the channel, you know, the About page on it, there's actually email contact, which is davestechway@gmail.com. Something like that. If I think it's good enough and whatnot, you know, I'll consider putting in my videos for background music. I believe you're the one that asked about putting background music in my videos before. Yeah, I'll take a listen to it and see what I think, and maybe use it as background music for you. And I'll give you all rights to it. You know, I'll tell them that you're the one that made it and whatnot. And I'll try to get your name out there a little bit if that's what you're really into. Thanks, man. Thanks for the help. I'll get it to you shortly. I appreciate that. You know, if it helps get you noticed, and I'll give you, like I said, you know, I'll put it in the comments or whatnot. You know that you're the one that made the music, and maybe I can help share it and get more people interested in contacting you about using your music. I don't want anything but just say made by at the last or something. Yeah, I'll do something like that for you. That's no big deal. I can do something like that. Like I said, you know, I'll listen to it, see what I think of it, and possibly use it for some background music or whatnot. You know, help get your name out there, hopefully. Maybe some other people will contact you about using your music as background music or something. But as far as that comment, I'm not really too sure on what to say about it because I'm not too sure on what the question is. But if you only reach the 63C at 1.248 volts, I'd say sounds pretty good to me. Who else do we got here? We got Crunk Master Flex, I guess we pronounce that. How to update ASRock motherboard BIOS. He says, thanks, mate. Well, you're welcome, mate. I'm glad I could help you with that BIOS update. 44-226. Kansanka Rabbity, I guess the way you pronounce that. That's the way I'm going to pronounce it. How to overclock your AM on the B450M. I want to make a G-Skills Triton Z 2133 MHz to 2800. It would be better to give how much voltage. G-Skills Triton Z 3200 MHz, one stick of RAM. I don't understand why you're using one stick of RAM. You should be at least in dual channel because that's going to hurt your performance more than the speed's going to. I'd try with the 1.3. I mean, Corsair Vengeance RAM is usually pretty good about not being very voltage hungry. I could try a 1.3 or something like that. I mean, I don't have that kind of RAM to test or anything like that. I mean, if it goes up to 2800 megahertz, but you want to take it up to 2800 megahertz, but it's a 3200 megahertz kit. I'd try for the 3200 megahertz myself, and I'd definitely get another kit of it to run with it. That dual channel is going to mean more to you than the RAM speed itself, especially if you're running a single channel. Bot Brian's Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1650 OC unboxing and overview. Hey man, help me please. Update my BIOS. I'm desperate, man. Well, I'll comment back to you, and we'll see if I can get you set up with that new BIOS for your motherboard. I don't know why you're on a graphics card unboxing overview and wanting advice on how to update a BIOS, but hey, it works. I'll type back to him. Let's say here, Simple Creations. How to dedicate more RAM to the integrated graphics. Well, how do you get 16 gigs? I am using the same motherboard at AMD Ryzen 5 2400. I think that's mainly depending on the BIOS version you're running. I think when I did that video, I was running one of the first BIOSes that would let you go up to more RAM. I believe some of the later versions on it, they kind of cut that out. They won't let you go up as far, depending on what BIOS version you're running. If you really want to run more RAM, which I think you'd be kind of shooting yourself in the foot, you could always do another BIOS update to an older BIOS, flash it back to an older BIOS to get more RAM to that integrated graphics. But the integrated graphics, the iGPU on that thing ain't much to really speak about using more than 2 gigs of RAM. To dedicate more than 2 gigs to it. I don't think you ought to be dedicating more than 2 gigs because the onboard graphics just ain't that strong. But yeah, that has a lot to do with the BIOS version. He came back as well on how to overclock your RAM. He says, more sound please, very explained. Yeah, I went back and listened to that video. I don't know why I did it when I was editing, but I did have the volume down pretty low on that. I've actually thought about putting the video back through an editing software and upping the sound on it. I don't know, maybe I'll call it revision 2 or something to it, I don't know. Because it is awful quiet. I mean, if you ain't in a real quiet spot, you ain't going to hear it. But I don't know if I'll do something like that or not. Next, we're 5 days ago. Indian meditation. How to overclock your RAM? Meditation. That's how you pronounce that. Hello, sir. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing good. I'm facing a problem with overclocking the RAM. 6 months ago, I bought a PC with Ryzen 5 3600, same motherboard you were using with 3000 megahertz. I select XMP profile and save the BIOS, and it worked. But today my PC won't display anything, so I removed the CMOS battery and reset the BIOS. PC starts, but when I select XMP profile 1 and save it, output not coming on display, and my keyboard and mouse stops working. Please, any suggestions, any ideas? Overclocking with the XMP is too strong of an overclock. Your RAM or CPU and motherboard ain't compatible with them speeds. Go in and try to manually overclock it down. I'd shoot for probably 2933 megahertz, which ain't much away from that 3000 megahertz. That would be my best suggestion, and if it still ain't stable, cut it back a little bit more, but I tried at least for the 2933. That would be my suggestion on that one. What we got next? UE, 3 days ago, on the ViewSonic VA 2759. Unboxing overview. How is your monitor holding up so far? Well, I've only used it for a couple months, and then I actually got the second 4K monitor. But for the few months that I used it, it was actually holding up pretty good. I currently ain't using that monitor. like I said, within the few months that I used that monitor, it's doing pretty good for me. No complaints with it. I have an update on that one, but not really, because I'm no longer using it. I know I didn't put nothing on the channel about it, but I did buy the second 4K monitor, and that's what I'm using now, is the two 4Ks. Yo Bio Frosty X. Cooler Master Box Q300L build guide for 2019. Thank you, because I am using the same motherboard in case. Looks good, my man. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And I plan on doing what I'm doing. Don't plan on going anyplace anytime soon. Med I guess. How to upgrade your Ryzen AM4 CPU in a gaming PC. He says, hi there. Just bought this gig. Just talking about a rig. Let's see here. What did he buy? What did he buy? The Gigabyte B450M DS3H. Not bad. Corsair Vengeance LPX 2x8, 3200 megahertz. Man, pretty good. Samsung 970 EVO Plus 250 gig SSD M.2. Then you got an SSD 860 EVO 1 terabyte. The PSU is the Golden Field 80 plus bronze 350 watt ATX. They are on the way. Tell me what you think, man. I don't know exactly what CPU you're using. Don't know what GPU that you are using. But that power supply I have never heard of. Never heard of a Goldfield. And the power supply would be definitely questionable, depending on the CPU and GPU you're using. If you're running an APU system, you'd be alright. If you're running something like the 1650 OC that I got, and the $600 build, you'd be alright, because it don't take external power, and it only requires a 350 watt power supply. It don't give you much lead room for any kind of upgrades in the future. I mean, the rest of it sounds pretty good. You know, the Gigabyte B450, 16 gigs of RAM, the 970 Plus, M.2, the SATA 860 EVO, 1 terabyte. All sounds pretty good. You know, depending on the CPU and GPU you have. I mean, it is 80 plus bronze at least. But depending on the CPU and the GPU you plan on mixing with that 350 watt may be questionable. Most 350 watt power supplies don't have a external power source for GPUs. That may be something to keep in mind. Like I say, if you're going for an APU build, I think you'll be alright. You're going up to like the 1650, a Gigabyte 1650 I got. It don't have no external power to it that's needed, so something like that would be alright. But it kind of limits you on your upgradability. I mean, if you're looking into light 1080p gaming or something, I think you'll be alright with it. But I definitely question that power supply depending on the GPU you plan on putting in the system. Abigail, hey you, hey, what's going on? Hey Dave, you like hip hop style or silent music? Let's go with the silent. I ain't too much into the hip hop scene. And there goes my phone. But yeah, let's go, let's stay away from the hip hop. I really don't care for the hip hop stuff, but it ain't really what I like, it's what everybody else likes, you know. The hip hop music probably get more people listening to it. I'll send the music today, till today, after, or tomorrow maybe. Alright, sounds good. That's great. Yep, Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, the hip-hop probably do better for the channel than what the other would, but I really ain't into hip-hop, but, you know, that's what everybody else likes compared to what I like. How you doing, Habago? Glad you joined me this morning, buddy. Glad you made it in today. Nice choice. Yeah, I think so. Like I said, it's what other people like over what I like, so, you know, the hip-hop may do better, but I'd rather stay away from the hip-hop. Who else do we got here? Narva, one of the most detailed videos on this motherboard. Awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I try to get pretty detailed in my unboxing overviews of them. See you later. Thanks for the tech tips. Well, you're welcome. Enjoy your evening. I think you're the one that's over there that's nighttime now, I believe. Thanks for at least stopping in and saying howdy. Who else do we got? We have, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Or NCCS. That's the way I pronounce it. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. I don't have the XMP profile and I have the same motherboard. Can you help me? Depending on your RAM kit, you may have a non-overclockable RAM kit. I get that one quite often, and no matter what RAM kit I put in mine, no matter what BIOS version I flash on it, I always end up with an XMP profile. You guys that don't get an XMP profile, sounds like to me it may be your RAM. May not be overclockable RAM. It's the only thing I can think of. I really don't know how to answer them. Because I've never seen a motherboard not have an XMP or a DOCP. Like I said, you know, I've tried different versions of BIOSes on that motherboard. I've tried different RAM kits. I've actually, I've actually tried different RAM kits. I've tried different BIOSes, and I've always had the XMP on that one. I'm not too sure on how to help you guys with that one. You ain't the first one that's asked that. You know, there's been quite a few people that said they don't have XMP showing up. I don't quite understand that one. Vorex, I guess 2 days ago, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM. Sorry, so my Ryzen 5 3600 is only drawing a voltage of 0.9 volts. Is this normal? If it's only pulling 0.9 volts and you're getting your max, and it's running at speeds it's supposed to be running out of, yeah, I mean, it's actually a good thing for it to be drawing less voltage than what you need. I mean, as long as it's running at its rated speed, it sounds like to me you got you probably got a pretty good chip for overclocking, actually. Because I know a lot of the AMD boards that 4000 series or 400 series motherboards, they're usually drawing like 1.45 volts or something like that. Usually 1.48 volts. So if you're only drawing 0.9 volts, less than 1 volt, and you're getting your CPU to run at the rated frequency it should be running at, sounds like to me you got a golden chip right there. Let's see here, what else do we got? About 9 racing games. How to overclock your Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte. You can't click with the mouse, you have to use the enter key. You could OC in the BIOS. Yeah, if you actually watch part 3 of that series, I didn't mean to make that a 3-part series, but it ended up being a 3-part series because I was learning how to overclock myself in that. But yeah, I kind of learned that throughout the process and through other people watching the videos. But I appreciate the information. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for watching the video. We got Kermit the Frog one day ago. Cooler Master Box MB311L ARGB Airflow Case Unboxing and Overview. I wonder if that's actually the cartoon character or not. Anyways, great video, excellent, what I wanted. Well, I'm glad that I kind of explained that case. I think I went over that case pretty good in that video. I hope, kind of break them down and kind of go through what they offer and what they don't offer. I'm glad you found some enjoyment in it and found the information you wanted. I'm still wondering if that's the cartoon character. I doubt if it's a cartoon character. It can't be. Alright, next on our hit list for the day. Josh Fritzer's AOC U2790VQ 27-inch 4K monitor unboxing and overview. Thinking about getting this for my gaming rig and my PS4 Pro. Please let me know if it's good for the price. Actually, I don't know what them things are actually going for. I don't know what they're going for today. But I'm actually running two of them. I have noticed a little bit of back bleed in mine. A little bit, when you're on a complete black screen. Which mine's very seldom ever on a black screen. Let's see here. AOC. I love the way some of these monitor names go. It is the 2790, right? 2790Q. Yep, that'd be the one. I have noticed a little bit of back bleed on some of my lightings of it. And I'm running two of them now, like I mentioned. But I think they're good. They're going for $249. That's about what I paid for mine. If you're looking at the 27-inch 4K, 60 hertz, with VESA mount and whatnot, I think they're still a pretty good deal. One of the main reasons why I bought it was because it's an IPS panel. It's only 60 hertz, but that's fine with me. I ain't much into the high refresh rate. And I wanted the IPS panel. That way I have the more correct colors. I think they're a pretty good deal for the price. I mean, if you look up 4K monitor, 60 hertz for that size, you got to take into consideration that it is a 27-inch monitor. For the 27-inch monitor, they are one of the more budget-friendly options. I'm getting old, guys. I like my big screens. I like to have the screen real estate so I can see what's going on the screens. But I think they're a pretty good buy. I got two of them, and on the black screens when they're asleep or whatnot, I see a little bit of fade, a little bit of light coming through on the corners and whatnot of them. But for color reproduction and whatnot, I think it's a wonderful buy. I don't think you can go too wrong with them. Of course, the one I've had a little bit longer than I've had the second one. But they're holding up pretty good. I haven't had no problem with mine either way. For a gaming rig or for a PS4 Pro, either way, I don't think you can go wrong with it. Like I say, I've only had them for a few months, so, time will tell, but mine's been holding up pretty good so far. Let's see, who else do we got here? We got MD Macedor RAM. How to dedicate more RAM to your integrated graphics. What's your BIOS version? I think when I did that video, I think I was still on like F2 or F4 or something like that. It was the BIOS that was shipped with it. And I'm going to assume that he's asking that because of the amount of RAM that was available to me. but I think that's what it was. I think it's the BIOS version, and it was one of the earlier BIOSes. But yeah, it was like F2 or F4. It was whichever BIOS that was actually shipped with my motherboard, and I think it was like F2. We have Ashwin Moore. Okay, how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450. He looks so done. I'm assuming he's talking about me looking tired. I've had quite a few comments that people say I look like I need more sleep in that video and whatnot. Sleep's a luxury that some of us don't get a whole lot of. But yeah, I was pretty tired when I did that video. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I was pretty tired. I do need to get more sleep if I can fit it into my schedule, but you know, it is what it is. We have, I guess probably be Volt, but it's got a space between the V and the A. V-Alt. Okay, V-Alt. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450. Is there any point to set the RAM to performance rather than normal value? It depends on what you're wanting to do. The performance is kind of a little bit of an overclock, but if you turn on XMP or DOCP, which on that motherboard is considered XMP, you get a little bit better performance out of it than what you'd even get by turning on the performance. If you turn on performance and you turn on the XMP, you probably get a little bit better out of it. I've never tried that. Actually, I don't have that motherboard put together in the system. It's just kind of sitting back there in the box. I haven't got the system rebuilt yet. But, you know, if you're just running normal volumes, you know, if you're running at stock speeds, that performance is going to help you a little bit. XMP is going to be your best bet. I mean, you could try the performance on top of the XMP and see what it does for you. If you're mainly overclocking it, I'd leave it at normal. It just depends on how you plan on running your system and if you want to put in the time to do the manual overclock or not. I've never really tested it. I really can't really give you a straight answer, to tell you the truth, because I've never tried one way or the other. You know, I don't know what the difference would be between the two. So, yeah, sorry I can't give you a straight answer on that one. And like I said, I don't have a system put together with it, so I really couldn't tell you. I've never turned on the performance side of it. I just always went with the XMP or the DOCP. I don't see why the performance would do a whole lot better for you. Unless that performance on that particular motherboard is a self-overclocking that would overclock it to its max, which may get you better results than what XMP would do. But, you know, I don't know. Try it, see what happens. That'd be about my best opinion. And of course, it's all about the performance and getting the best performance you can out of your components for what you paid for. You know, turn it on and see what happens. Would be my best guess. Like I said, I've never tried it, so I really couldn't tell you. Let's see here. Anything else come in? Nope. He looks like the last one. Nothing held for review. Nothing else held for spam. Good. I don't have no spam. That means I don't have no haters. Of course, I've always got haters, but at least they ain't leaving no comments on me. That's going to pretty well wrap it up for that. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, throw it over there in the chat over there, and I'll be more than happy to answer the best that I can. Wait for a minute. I'm sending you a mail in a minute with music. Well, okay, let's check the email and see what we got here. That's the wrong email. Hold on. Wrong email. Let's see, you're live now on the channel. Comment on how to overclock the RAM. Probably goes to spam, I figure. Everything goes to spam. Some of this shit I get, I wish it would go to spam that don't go to spam. See, there's one for spam. See, this kind of spam shit I get in my Google email. Sales, device ports, more than 100 repair supplies for you. Yeah, that's what I want to read about. But yeah, I'll keep my, it's a demo that I just made. Refreshed it. Check it out. Okay, let's refresh. Hey, there we go. We got music. Y'all want to hear some music? Let's see what kind of music we got here. I guess I gotta download it. Okay, well, we'll download it. We'll go with the downloads for right now. And we will open. That actually sounds pretty good. Kind of like that. What else do we got here? You want more fast? Something with a little bit more upbeat would be nice. I mean, it's kind of a laid back, put you to sleep kind of thing. Yeah, a little bit more upbeat, especially when you're talking tech. You know, tech's usually high speed, a little bit more upbeat. But I'll definitely put that into, tell you what. I'll show you what I'm doing with it. Let's do this. Well, let's put this over here on the screen. There we go. We will go to downloads, which was that one. We will open up a new file, Internet Explorer. We'll go into there. We'll go into there. We will go into soundtracks, just like so, and we will move it over there. There we go. Sure. Don't put this one. I'll give you a better one. Alright, well, I'll save that one. We'll see what all you send me, and I'll be more than happy to take a listen to it and see what I think. And like I said, as long as you ain't gonna hit me with a copyright, I'll be alright with it. You're more than welcome. Like I said, you know, anytime I use a video, you know, I will tell them that it is provided by you. You know, this is homemade. It sounds pretty good. No copyrights. I'm glad of the copyrights. I just now get monetized. I don't want to be demonetized. But anyways, as the channel goes, it looks like it's grown a little bit over the past 28 days or so. If anyone copyrights come, then remove it. Oh yeah, I'll definitely remove it if it ends up being copyrighted. As far as the community goes, we've gained, well, let's knock this down the last 7 days. Let's see what we've got the last 7 days. We have got 11 new community members here this week. Welcome in. Glad y'all subscribed. Got 11 new ones this week, so that's pretty good. Not too bad, I guess. Google's actually telling me it's down in the last 28 days by a few. We've got 55 in the last 28 days. I'm usually 57 to 83 in the 28-day span, or the last month span. But we're still growing as a community. Tested in the ending of a video. And an ending of the video? Well, I could probably do that for you. We'll put it in the ending of it. Well, I'm actually getting to the point to talk about the videos and whatnot coming up this week. But we have got a few subscribers this week. The community's grown a little bit, which I really appreciate. I want to thank you all for watching the videos and commenting and whatnot. You know, the comments are what really makes the live show happen. That's pretty well what it is, and anything that happens in the chat over there, you know, without it, I'd be talking about tech news. It's, yeah, old news by now. By the time I learn about it, it's always old news. And sure, 99.9% no copyrights will come. Also, be more happy. Yeah, be more happy. You know, it's questionable, especially with the morning I've had this morning. Maxter, good to see you still growing. Yeah, we're growing. It's getting up there. I was actually hoping to see about 1,100 by this weekend, but it didn't quite happen. We're about 6 away. We're up to 1,094 subscribers now, so the community's growing. But you know, I don't promote the channel a whole lot outside of YouTube. I kind of let YouTube do its own thing. I really don't promote the channel a whole lot. A couple months back, someone put me out there on Reddit, put the channel out on Reddit, which popped the subscriber count up by about 140 or something like that, which that was a big help. And I still want to send him out a big thank you if he's watching, if he's still part of the community. I want to thank you for that. We're still growing. We're still heading in the right direction. As far as the videos for this week coming up, good night. You have a good evening. Get you some good sleep. Yep, see you next time. Yep, I'll be here next weekend. As far as I know, I ain't working overtime my full-time job. Actually, next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend, so I have a few extra days off. Here in India, it's night. Yeah, you guys, I believe you said before you're about 12 hours off from us. So you're looking at almost midnight over there where you're from, over there where you're at. If you look at the computer here over my shoulder right there, the one with the RGBs on it, well, that's the $900 computer built. That's the one I built a while back for $900. I bought some cheap or budget ARGBs, fans and light strips to put in it. That computer is looking beautiful. Well, that's questionable. I bought the DS fans. You know, it comes in a 3-pack of ARGB fans and a couple light strips in the pack. The light strips is the garbage. They ain't even worth having in the computer. Can't even tell they're in the computer. I bought a couple extra fans to go along with it. I'm kind of over. If you see my PC, then you would vomit. I wouldn't mind seeing some PCs. And I like to see what you all is watching me on, because I know most of you is watching on computer. You know, hell, I wouldn't mind seeing what you guys, what your systems look like. Y'all seen what my system looks like, and it ain't that great. But that system behind me there with the RGBs on it and whatnot, that think I kind of went over it last week. I got the DC fan kits for it. I'm gonna do a setup war series. I think I need to go a little bit more than what I've got to actually get enough submissions to do a series or anything like that. But if you guys want to put in your photos of your setup or photos of your computers or whatnot, you like for me to tweak them, or you like to just see what I think of them, my email's available to you guys. Send me an email with some photos of it, and maybe next weekend I'll go through them for you. But as far as that, I can do something like that. Suggestions on setups. If I get enough people to submit some photos to me for setups or what the PC looks like, I could do something like that. I have no problem with doing stuff like that. I'd like to get into something like that, but I don't think the channel's quite big enough to be able to get enough to be able to put out videos, or maybe I could cover it in the live show here. Maybe I'll create a part of the live show where I just focus on setups, or how I think you can improve your system if you're looking to improve your system or something like that. If you don't put up videos, then nothing will grow. And this series is trending. Yeah, it is trending. But I have to have submissions for setups and for people that's willing to submit their PCs to me and submit their setups to me before I can do something like that. I just can't pull systems or setups out of the air to kind of tweak, Anyway, I'll see you next time with the setup photos and some music. I'll keep going, man. You have a good evening. You get you some good solid sleep. Thank you for the music. Appreciate that. I'm glad it ain't copyrighted. You enjoy your nap or your sleep, whichever it may be in your area. I usually nap. I don't sleep. Thanks for hanging out with me. Now, thank you for hanging out with me. Maxter 1878. I'll send you mine to get you going. Nothing special at all, but it helps. Take care and good night. Good night. You take care as well. Maxter, I'd like to see your system. Send me some photos of your setup. Send me some photos of your PCs. I'll be more than willing to give you a little bit of advice, what I think of them and whatnot. I ain't going to be mean to you. I ain't going to, I understand everybody's on a budget. I understand that money's tight right now. But, there's always little ways you can tweak your system or tweak your setup, maybe. I don't know. Which I wanted to speak, which you really haven't seen my setup or my system, really. There's a few videos, my personal rig upgrades or whatnot. My setup, which was a while back, which my setup's changed since then, but, there is one about my setup on the channel. So I'm one to really talk about that kind of topic. But yeah, if you guys want to send in your photos of your systems, your setups, you like the little tweaks or something, I'll give you my honest opinion on them. I like to get something like that going on the live stream. As far as videos go, I got quite a bit to cover yet, and little time to do it in. Just got my PS5, very happy with it. Experienced the storage simulation is poor. Yeah, I've heard that about them. The storage ain't the best one, but y'all be lucky you even got PS5 with the way I've been reading around. Well, I've been watching, the PS5s and the new Xboxes coming out. They're very shortage, they're like the GPUs right now. You can't grab them even if you had the money. Ashman Dixon, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you. Hey, yo, Dave, my man, what's up? Just enjoying another Saturday morning here. I'm glad you stopped by and said howdy. Joined late today. Yeah, you're a little bit late, but that's all right. Later's better than never, right? Ishman, what's happening? Oh, going through some comments, some questions, helping people out the best that I can. Trying to do my good deeds for this week, right? You carried me on my first build. Well, I'm glad. I hope I didn't steer you too wrong on it. You're more than welcome. I hope you got the first build done and it's up and operating the way it should be. But I've been working this morning, like I said earlier, you know, I put in 4 or 5 hours on this computer right back here beside me with the RGBs on it. I put 5 RGB fans in it. Got it all connected up. You know, I got a kit off of Amazon. Got 3 fans and 2 RGB strips. Now, mind you, I got 3 of these kits, and I got 6 fans. They're all from the same company. Once I got them hooked up, the RGB strips is useless. They don't perform like they should. 2 of the 6 fans I ordered is dead. You know, so the whole 4.5, 5 hours I've put filming into putting that. It's supposed to be part of the budget or the, you know, the cheaper way to get into ARGB or RGB into your case. I'm going to scrap it all. I'm unhappy with the product. Like I mentioned, you know, I'm going to send them all back, get my money back out of them. Within the 3 systems that I bought the stuff for, I'm looking at $150. You know, I'm unhappy with our RGB strips. They should be brighter. They should be better. 2 of the 6 fans that I ordered extra is dead. The DOA, dead on arrival. So I ain't gonna be able to recommend this company. You know, I thought it was a pretty good deal for the price. I don't know if I can pull them up here or not. Let me see. I don't think that's them. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. I really don't even think I should give them time of the day unless I put out a warning video about them. And this here's what I'm talking about. This DS 120mm RGB fans. I mean, it's got 32 ratings at 4 stars. I thought it'd be alright with them. The LED strips is junk. I bought 6 extra fans. That way I could have 5 fans and 2 RGB strips in each of the builds coming up on the channel. 2 of the fans are already dead out of the 6. As you can see, the 3-pack of RGB fans with strips right there is $27. I think I paid like $7 a piece for the extra fans. So you're looking at $50 worth of fans and their ARGB strips. I'm going to be packing them all back up, sending them all back to Amazon. They're completely junk. They say there's only 17 left in stock. They will be getting 3 more of them back in stock. You know, like I said, you know, 32 ratings, 4 stars, you know, I figure they'd be alright. They're absolute junk. I can't recommend them. And I ain't gonna sell a system with this stuff in them if I can't trust the fans to be held up. You know, if the fans ain't gonna hold up. What we got going on over here in chat? Joined late today. What's happening? Carry me on my first build. Nice video on the B550. Was good. Glad you took the advice. Yeah, I took the advice on that one. I think that turned out to be pretty good video. Am I still using the B450 DS3H? No. It's actually sitting in the back, sitting back in the box, actually waiting for me to do another build on that. I'm running the Asus X470 Pro Prime. What is it called? I don't even know what it's called. Asus Prime X470 Pro motherboard. That's what I'm running. The B450 is kind of sitting back there right now in the box, waiting for the next build. So yeah. Ishman, what RGB fans do you recommend I get for my PC? Nice. That RGB must be added at least 10 fraps. Yeah, ARGB, man, it's underrated. I mean, you know, the more ARGB, the more lights you have in your case, the more it adds to the fraps, right? So that's what a lot of people think anyway. What RGB fans do you recommend? That's a hard one. Kind of goes along with what I was saying. I was going to actually recommend these. But for being on a budget, you know, trying to get the best out of your money, like I said, I had 2 of the 6 separate fans that I bought. This DOA. The RGB strips on them are complete trash. I mean, you can't even see them even lit up in the system. And I ordered 3 of these kits, and I ordered 6 extra fans. That way I could put 5 fans and 2 RGB strips in the next couple builds I got coming up, or to spice up the builds I've got before I could sell them. I'm gonna box them all up and send them all back. You know, with 2 fans already DOA, the light strips and the one that I opened up and hooked up is worthless. I mean, you can't even tell they're even in the system. And I'm planning on selling these systems, so I don't want to sell a computer with fans that's going to die within a month or so. Oh, excuse me. And then they're going to start bad-mouthing me that I'm selling junk, I'm selling trash. You know, so what fans would I recommend? You know, right now, it's hard for me to say. You know, the ones that I got in my personal rig, which they ain't nowhere close to being cheap. I got the Fractal Design ones in mine. Excuse me. Which they are excellent fans. Let me see if I can get them pulled up here. I'm pretty sure I got them through Amazon. But they ain't nowhere close to cheap. That's why I was going to do a budget side of the RGB. Because the way I did my system, there's nothing cheap about it. I wasn't looking to be cheap. You know, I wanted good performance. Well, maybe I got them through Newegg. Hold on, guys. Which they are excellent fans. There's no question about it. But of course, the Fractal Design, you're paying a lot for the name brand. I'm looking for a more budget-friendly option as far as fans and ARGB or RGB goes. Which I'm finding it hard to do. If you guys have watched any of my other builds on the channel, you've seen me use the up here fans, which I like them. You know, they seem to hold up pretty good. They're not bad. You know, they don't seem to be too noisy. They seem to be more, there we go. There's the fans that I got in my system. Fractal Design Prisma AL12 120 addressable ARGB. For a 3-pack of them, you're paying almost $61 for a 3-pack. Which I guess that ain't bad. You're looking at about 20 bucks a fan, which ain't bad. So what's cooking for next week? What's cooking for next week? Not me, it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, I cook Thanksgiving dinner, man. You're going to be sorry for that one. Which these are pretty good fans, but they are $20 a piece. So I'm trying to look for a more affordable option to recommend to y'all. But I mean, if you want, you know, if the price ain't too important for you, I mean, I really can't beat these. I mean, you know, they are a DC fan compared to a PMW fan, but they do operate off of most of the motherboards. You know, the MSI, the ASRock, you know, the Gigabyte, the Asus. You know, they work with pretty well any manufacturer motherboard. If you want to connect them straight to your motherboard, they work. You know, they seem to be pretty quiet. They're pretty reliable. I haven't had no problems with mine. And of course, most of my system, you know, even the heat sinks and whatnot on my motherboard is white. So the white fans actually match pretty good. I mean, so if you got the money, I'd suggest something like this. As far as having a budget option, I'm actually still looking. Which, that was going to be this week's video, bringing that up. So it's kind of tied all back together. What's cooking for next week? Well, I was going to do the budget ARGB, how to get budget ARGB or RGB fans and whatnot put in your case and this and that. But I'm not too happy with the product. So I'm going to be sending all them back. And I'm still on the look for some budget stuff. I mentioned up here, which they do make pretty good fans. But the kits I've used in the past, they hook up through SATA, which means your case fans run at 100% of the time. And they run at 100% speed. I don't care for that. The RGB or the ARGB on most of them, they're hooked up through a controller. So they ain't controlled through the motherboard software. I don't know, maybe that's a big deal to you, maybe it ain't. Maybe you'd rather have a controller. You know, that's kind of a portion or option. But, you know, the fan speeds, you know, I'd rather have fans that hook up through the PWM or at least a DC on the motherboard. That way the computer controls the speed of the fan depending on the airflow it needs. That's why I'm having a hard time trying to do a budget option on the fans and RGB. As far as what I'd recommend right now, I'm kind of up in the air. You know, up here are pretty good fans, but you're running 100% time. You know, you're running, as long as that computer's turned on, your fans is running, and they're running at 100% speed, which does two different things. Number one, running at 100% speed all the time, you know, you got the noise factor, which they're pretty quiet fans, but you can still kind of hear them. If noise is a big thing to you, I mean, if you're wearing headphones or something while you're gaming, it ain't too big of a deal. But also with them fans spinning at 100% speed all the time like that, your fans are more likely to wear out faster. So you're going to be replacing them. And that's something to keep in mind. You know, I'd rather have something that's controlled by the motherboard. That way, you know, they kind of speed up or slow down depending on the heat in the system. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky, but I'm looking for a budget option that has that option. So, yeah, I mean, right now, as far as budget goes, it's kind of hard for me to recommend anything. Sure, your girlfriend will help you out. Yep. I'm gonna be laying the turkey out, and she's gonna be cooking at home this year. We've been together almost 3.5 years now. Going on 4 years, actually. But, you know, this is the first year that we both had Thanksgiving off together. And the past years, one or the other's always worked. That's going to be a little bit different for us this year. Options for opinion for cool moon RGB fans. You can control the SATA fans through the voltage instead of PMW. You know, Aspen, you're right. You can control them. Which, I guess it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Instead of letting the motherboard control them, you go in and control them through the SATA or the voltage of them. It's all controlled by the motherboard, which, you know, I mean, that give me more content for the channel, right? Because if I show you how to set them up through SATA, then I have to show you how to set it up in the BIOS of each motherboard to be able to control them fan speeds through the SATA cables. Maybe that's an idea. You know, I mean, it ain't like you go into the BIOS and set this and set that. You know, you'd have to go in and actually change the voltage to each fan. Yeah, at least that is something good about 2020. That's about the only damn good thing of this year, I tell you. This year's definitely been a roller coaster. Definitely been a roller coaster. But this system behind me, I think I'm gonna rip it all apart. I'm gonna take the fans. I'm gonna send them all back to Amazon. I'm gonna get my money back out of them. I'm still looking for a budget option for ARGB lightings or RGB fans for a system to be able to recommend. The ones I ordered that I showed you earlier, I don't recommend. The RGB strips that come with them is junk. I mean, they ain't worth putting in the system. You can't even tell that the RGB strips is even on. You know, all the light that you're seeing back in that system from the fans. I ordered 6 extra fans because I was going to put them in 3 different builds. That way I have 5 fans per build. 2 of the fans is dead, you know. You know, and a lot of people don't order 6 fans at a time. You know, most people order 3 to 4 at the max usually. You know, if you're looking to actually for these fans to work right out of the box and get your system up and running, you know, it's a little complicated. You know, I don't want to promote something on the channel that's junk. You know, I like to get y'all in the budget mind. You know, how to save your money on while doing this stuff. But I don't want to promote junk either. You know, so there was that. Let's light up a Christmas tree. RGB is for kids. You know, Aspen, as far as my mindset goes, RGB and ARGB is for kids. But that's what everybody wants. You know, I got 3 systems I want to put together. You know, I got the $600 build that's done. I got the $900 build back here. It's got the ARGB in it now, or the RGB lights in it now. And you know, I can't sell them without lighting in them. They just will not sell. You know, everybody wants the RGB, everybody wants the ARGB, everybody wants to be able to change the color of the theme of them. You know, unfortunately, you know, and if you go back and look at most of the stuff on my channel, especially my builds, it's all performance based. You know, I base most of my money, you know, unless you're running the very top of the line, you shouldn't worry about ARGB. You shouldn't worry about RGB. You shouldn't worry about the way it looks unless your system is the max performance that you can get out of it. If you can get the max performance out of your system, then you ought to start putting money into the way it looks, you know. But it has definitely changed over the years. You know, nowadays it's more about the looks than it is the performance. Oh, look, I got 1650, but look at all the RGB I got in it. I don't know. It's kind of different from my mindset, but, you know, this is what people buy. You know, you can't, you know, and like I mentioned the last couple of weekends, you know, I'm looking to build these systems to sell. And to be able to sell them, I gotta give the people what they want. And a lot of them want the ARGB or they want the lighting, you know, even though it means cutting $100 out of the budget for better storage or better graphics card or better CPU or more RAM or whatever cuts back on, they don't care as long as they have that look, as long as they have that ARGB, RGB lights. I mean, it's sad that people has got to the point to where they put the looks of something over top of the performance of it, but you know, that is sadly true. You know, them kits I bought for the three pack of RGB fans with lighting strip, like I showed you, it's $27. I pay $7 a piece for each fan. That's $50 for 5 fans. $50 gets you a better CPU. It gets you a better GPU. You know, it gets you another 16 gigs of RAM right now. For that extra $50, you could add so much more performance, but still yet for people to buy a PC, to be able to sell a PC, you know, you need that ARGB or you need the lighting to it, or they just ain't gonna buy. I mean, it's a sad truth, but it is what it is. You know, people put the looks above the performance. You know, could I find one good non-RGB 140 millimeter for myself on Amazon here in India? This is how bad it is. Yeah, if you're looking at all in ones, you're looking at water cooling, you're running out of options. The manufacturers of water coolings, of AIOs, they are leaning towards everything being ARGB or RGB lit. A lot of them's ARGB, which whenever I did my system, you know, I did the how to, I forget what the hell it was now actually, how to install all the ARGBs and whatnot in your systems. I forget what the name of the video was. How to install the ARGB, RGB lights and fans in a computer. You know, at factor Celsius Plus that I've got is ARGB. So everything, I had to convert everything over to ARGB. My motherboard, I had to spend an extra, I forget what it was, 20 bucks, 25 bucks for a converter from RGB over to ARGB just to be able to run that all in one. And if you're going to pay that kind of money for a converter, you might as well put the rest of it as ARGB. Looks are everything in our society today. Yeah, I agree with that statement. It's sad but true, you know. It's just like my vehicles. I'd rather have the performance over the looks. My computer, I'd rather have the performance over the looks. But nowadays it really don't matter. You know, it's all about what other people think. You know, I know I'm a creator. I do, you know, I'm doing the videos and whatnot. But to me, performance still supreme to me. You know, I can't see, you know, a $600 system I got built back there. I can't see spending $100 on ARGBs and fans for it to make it look pretty when you can take that money and get better performance out of it. I don't know. It just don't make no sense to me. It's You know, and this is the first time I'm actually realizing this, which I should have realized a few years ago when the lighting started into the PC community. But it's kind of sad that people put the looks over what the performance is. You know, and it was like when I was growing up, I had an '86 Mustang. It looked like shit. It really did. It had different color panels on it, and the exhaust was hanging off of it, and you know, but still yet, there wasn't a vehicle in my neighborhood that could touch it. As far as speed went, as far as handling went, you know, it looked like shit, but it ran good. The performance was there. It just didn't look the part. You know, it's just, you know, it's just the way it was. You know, performance was king. And nowadays, that's the complete opposite. You know, as far as your computer goes, as far as the vehicles go, anything in your life goes, it don't matter what the performance of it is. It's the looks. It's what everybody else thinks of what you've got seems to matter more than what the performance does. I don't know, and I'm sadly learning to do this. You know, but it is what it is. You know, and especially in the computers and the times that we're in, you have to learn to adapt. Maybe I'm too old school for a lot of people, but you know, sleeper stang. Yeah, but you know, it's kind of strange the way people think nowadays. At least compared to the way I was raised. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I am back. Mother Nature called. I had to go answer the caller wild. Gotta go with the times. My man had too many bears today. Yes, I have. I had quite a few before I even started the stream, actually. It looks like I'm on about the fourth one since I started within the last hour. That's exactly what the issue was. I had to go drain the main vein. But I think the rant everyone Gone with the Times is kind of over with. You know, I guess I gotta kind of change my way of thinking on that. You know, bears. Yeah, bears. Yeah, I didn't have bears. I had beers. But yeah, that's why I've actually I got 3 builds actually sitting here in the studio, office, house, whatever you want to call it, that I've worked out of here. I got the $900 build, I got the $600 build that's done, and I also have the Gigabyte V450M DS3H motherboard with the Ryzen 2400 that I want to put back together in a case to sell. But you know, I'm gonna have to start leaning towards putting some RGB or ARGB in these systems to be able to sell them. You know, nobody's wanting to buy them without the lighting. So it's something I'm going to have to buck up and put the money out for it to be able to sell the systems. Aspendexa, even on a budget border like a B450S3H, gave a RGB header instead of an additional case fan. Yeah, exactly right. You know, they could have easily put another system fan header down there. You know, your system fan only runs about 1 volt, you know. But they decided to go with something that sucks up more juice out of the motherboard than what a system fan header would do. I mean, it's amazing that, you know, the lighting is more important than the functionality. You know, that's a good point. You know, to put an RGB header instead of an additional case fan header. Case fan headers, you know, to me is more important. Maxter 1878. How are your dogs, Dave? Doing good. The young one, it's a pit bull mix. Having a little bit of issues with him. You know, but he's doing all right. He's actually got him back there under pens for right now. That way they don't disturb me, because they'd be in here all over the place. I'm actually surprised the cat ain't in here climbing over these computers. They're doing pretty good, not bad. He's learning to walk a little bit better on the leash. I don't have a fenced-in yard or anything like that, so I gotta walk them on a leash whenever they need to go out. He's doing all right. The little one that I have, you know, he's what is he? Miniature Pinscher and Chihuahua mix. He's doing all right. He's awful mild and awful laid back. He's doing good. I'm kind of surprised they both still got their what would be the polite way of saying this? The male components. Neither one of them's been neutered, but they still get along good. I'm blessed with that, you know. But yeah, they're doing good together. Not too bad. Maxter, just have a few strips of RGB just to make it look nice. Entertainment Tech TV. Hey Dave, I have a question regarding the Gigabyte B450MDS3H. Shoot away, Entertainment Tech. I will be more than happy to answer it if I can answer it. I answer it the best. Throw it out there, bub. I'll be more than happy to answer any tech questions. Yeah, but these fans and RGB lights I got, I'm sending them back. I'm still, you know, if you guys have any opinions on something that's, you know, low cost or on a budget, or something you'd like to see me review or do an overview of, you know, let me know. You've seen me use the up here fans in the past, which I have a few issues with the up here fans. Which maybe I'm expecting too much, but the up here fans that I've used in the past, the lighting is controlled by a remote. There's no controlling of the fan speeds. I don't like that. You know, I feel that your computer should be able to control the fans. That, you know, your motherboard should be able to control the fans, give it air to the system as needed. You know, it's just what it is, you know. Maybe I'm being too picky for the price, but that's kind of like what I expect out of a fan, you know. Let's see here, Entertainment Tech. Something when I am working in the middle of or even idle, my display goes off and I have a force shutdown and restart. Happens once, twice a week. I also checked your videos regarding this on switching off integrated graphics in the BIOS, but I ain't getting the option. Please, I don't have integrated graphics. My CPU is a 2600 with a RX 570. You ain't going to have a, unless you're running an APU, which is like 2200G, 2400G, 3200G, 3400G, you ain't going to have an integrated graphics option to it. Are you running an overclock on the RAM or the CPU at all? If you went in and overclocked the XMP profile, the DOCP, which on that motherboard is referred to as XMP. My display goes off still though. You're in a discrete GPU. My display still goes off still though. I have something going on with XMP set as profile 1. It's starting to bother me. Sounds like to me it may be your RAM overclock. You can either go in and reset your BIOS settings or turn off XMP and put it back to the stock speeds. But if you got your RAM profile set to XMP and you're having problems with the system, that's the only thing you've touched in the BIOS, that's probably going to be what it is. Your XMP profile is too strong for your system. Set it back to stock. Set it back to the auto settings. Would be my best bet. That'd be the best guess I'd have. You know, without having the system here and running my own diagnostics, it's kind of hard. But it sounds like the RAM overclock ain't stable. I set it back to base and see if the problems still exist. And if the problems don't exist, it's just going to be because the RAM overclock's too strong. Which, in that case, I'd go in and take a snapshot of the XMP. You know, when you hit the save and exit, it shows you everything that's been changed. Take a snapshot of that, put in the same exact frequencies on the XMP manually and see if it still exists. Might be the GPU going bad. Happened to me once. It could be the GPU going bad. It could be the GPU going bad, the RX 570. It ain't a very old card. I mean, it's a few generations old, but you know, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be that RAM overclocking that's gonna be your issue. And of course, trying to put your RAM back to stock frequency is a lot cheaper than going out and buying a new GPU. I can play games at good fraps. GPU while gaming, so it seems okay. And there's ways to test that. You know, if you're really concerned about your GPU, load up something like Heaven Benchmark, which will run your GPU with 100% usage, and that'll run for a few hours. You know, if it can run 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours, and not crash, your GPU's gonna be all right. If you're running XMP, you keep getting these crashes. I'm gonna say it's gonna probably be your RAM or the XMP profile. It's gonna be a big deal. So maybe your RAM overclocking issue that you mentioned. I believe it's gonna be your RAM. I really do. Try testing the GPU on another system. Well, that's a possibility too. You could try, if you have another system. A lot of people ain't privileged to have another system, but yeah, you could always test it on another one. You're more than welcome. I'm glad. I'm hoping it works out for you. Um, but I think that RAM overclock's going to be your issue with it. RAM is very finicky, especially with a Ryzen system. And it causes a lot of issues. And even though Ryzen's been out for so long, it's still very finicky about its memory. And not a lot of people talk about it like they did when it first launched. You know, even the 3000 series, and it's gotten better over the time. You know, the 2000 series processor didn't have the problems the 1000 series didn't. You know, the 3000 is getting improved on over top of what the 2000 series had. You know, the 3000, you know, the 5000 series is probably better than what the 3000. But there's still memory compatibility issues with Ryzen. That's just one thing to keep in mind, guys. You know, Ryzen's still a work in progress. You know, Intel, and that's one benefit of Intel. You know, AMD's still finicky about the RAM compatibility. Intel, they usually run at slower speeds, but Intel is guaranteed to work with any manufacturer out there. You know, the XMP does help with Intel, but not as much as it does on AMD. And most manufacturers are set up to be compatible with Intel. You know, so that's one thing Intel still has set with them, even here in 2020. You know, the memory compatibility with the compatibility with an Intel system is a lot better than what AMD's got, even with the Ryzen. Even though Ryzen's been around for 3 years now, it's still the compatibility issues with the RAM. That's cool. The DS3H BIOS updates, the way you found the channel. I'm glad. And I'm glad it brought you into me. I'm glad you're here and you're able to hang out with me on the weekends. I'm glad you watch the videos and you comment and you like and you share and all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. I'm already subbed to you on 2 other channels. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad you subbed. The other 2 channels, yeah, I appreciate that too, as long as I got the subs, right? That helps the channel look that much better. Appreciate that. Thank you. I was watching something, saw your online, though I dropped in and said hi. Well, thank you. Appreciate you dropping in. Spend a little bit of time with me. I hope that helps you. If not, come back and drop me an email or drop me a comment in one of my videos, and I'll be more than willing to help you get that resolved. But I believe it's going to be that RAM overclock is going to be the issue. Sorry you got to go, but I understand. I'm glad you could at least stop in and say howdy and hang out for a while with me. I really appreciate that. But anyways, I think it was Aspen Dixon that asked what was coming up this week on the channel. Because of that ARGB thing, I guess I'll call it back there. I probably won't be doing the budget ARGB or RGB lighting and fans in the system this week. I appreciate you popping live as well. Thanks. You're more than welcome. Glad I could help you with that. I hope it helps you out. That's been Dixon. I'm glad you stopped in. I hate to see you go, but I understand. I realize that. It's getting late for you there where you live. I understand that. You enjoy your nap or your good night's sleep, whichever it may be. And a happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I hope you enjoy the holiday when you get to it here. But because of the bad products I bought back there in that there system back there, I do have the $600 bill that I have recorded, or I got the processor build it recorded anyways. I need to do a intro to it. I need to do an outro because I was kind of hoping to do the benchmarks along with it and just do a time lapse of the build. But that probably ain't going to happen because of the cheap or the budget way to do the ARGB, and I've wasted so much time on it this morning. I'll probably end up putting that up this week. I'm just doing the build part of it. You know, I'll still do the time lapse. I ain't gonna make y'all sit through the how-to. You know, I got other how-tos on the channel. You know, here recently I added a $900 how-to build, an all AMD system. So I probably ain't gonna do a how-to on that one. But I'm gonna put a time lapse of the build together for you. Like I said, I was hoping to get the benchmarks put in, but I wasted so much time this morning. It ain't gonna have the benchmarks. So it'll have to be a separate video as well. But that'll probably be what I'll end up putting up this week. I gotta do the intro for it. I gotta do an outro for it. But yeah, you can probably expect that video up this week. Also on that Gigabyte B550M DS3H motherboard, I want to do a RAM overclocking on it because someone's requested that one. It's kind of why I picked that motherboard for that particular build, because it fit inside the budget and somebody requested a RAM overclocking on it. Because apparently, and from what I've seen within that BIOS completely different than what the B450 motherboard BIOS is. So maybe it's worth putting up as well. So I'm going to cover that with the motherboard. Of course, I'm going to do the CPU overclocking with that motherboard. Just like I do with most of my videos, you know. I do buy everything out of pocket, so I do try to get as much content as I can out of all the products that I have on hand or that I got coming in to do my builds with. And just kind of help build the channel the best as possible. Let's see, we have any more comments, questions, or concerns for this week yet? Anybody else come up with anything? It don't look like it. Alright, if any of you in chat or anybody's live got any questions, comments, or concerns, throw them over in the chat now. I believe I'm going to wrap it up for this week. Like I said, this week will probably be the $600 build time-lapse video. I got a few more videos coming up on that system. That ARGB fan kind of bit me in the butt. So I lost quite a few hours of recording time for that, which I got to take all that back apart, reship it out, get my money back. I got to look for some more budget options as far as fans that's RGB. If you have any suggestions for decent RGB fans, drop them in the description below. I'll be more than willing to look at them and see what it is. Like I said, I'm planning on selling these systems, so I don't want to go too expensive, but I want to make sure they're pretty good quality as well. So I'll kind of keep that in mind when you're dropping them links below. But I think I'm going to get out here for this weekend, guys. If you like this kind of content, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. There's also a comment section below. I go through them every weekend here on my live streams. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. like I did today. I'll also take back to everybody that left a comment this past week. If you really like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Well, you're notified next time I go live or I put out a video here on YouTube. And also, if you'd like to come over and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, the link's in the description below. I won't kill your inbox, but I will let you know about any changes coming up to the live stream. I also put photos up of incoming products I got to kind of give you an idea of what's coming up on the channel as well. But other than that, I don't kill your inbox too much on Instagram or Twitter. But with all that being said, y'all have a good day. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.